Sell all your damn crypto. That is the only way you are really going to make money in this market. Oh, there's a few exceptions. We're going to discuss those, but here's the straight dope for you. If you want to make it big, you got to sell. Don't round trip your bags. Don't get wedded. Don't become part of the community of salty bag holders crying in their tears and their beers during the bear market because they didn't sell high. Buy low, sell high. This is your beginner's guide on when to sell, how to sell, also when to buy is pretty important too. And then what do you do? So I've got some tips for you on that too. Okay. So let's have this conversation. Look, I know you're saying, well, why are you making this video now, Lark? It's not time to sell. I'm not selling my crypto yet. And look, there's always some little things I might sell here and there or take a little profits on, whatever. But like the vast majority of my crypto holdings, they're going to be sold into euphoria when the retail herd is here and everybody's excited and going crazy and it's a new paradigm of money and the Coinbase app's #1, all that kind of stuff. That's when to sell. Okay, that's when I'll be selling. Right now is not that time. That time can come sooner, or it might be 12, 18 months before we see that time. Maybe you want to bookmark this video, come back to it when the markets are crazy, to keep yourself a little bit sane, to remind yourself of the reality, what you have to do. Okay, let's talk about when to buy. Now, when to buy tends to be a little easier for people. People have an easier time buying than selling psychologically. And the best times to buy, of course, early in the cycle. We're still relatively early. Now we've broken out of accumulation periods on a lot of coins, but we're in the earliest stages of the breakout. A lot of these coins are here and they're going to go up here. Okay. New listings can be very powerful buy as well. Celestia is a great recent example. Came out, airdrop farmers dumped it down to $2 or something like that. It's up at 13, 14, 15 bucks or something now. Big opportunity to get into new listings. Careful not to buy things that are too overly hyped. Okay, keep it reasonable. Have a plan when you get into this. Be ready to set parameters for when you get out, obviously. Token sales, they're back. They're a way to make money. They're hard to get into for the average person, but there are platforms like CoinList and DAOmaker that make it easier for regular people to get into token sales. So check that out. If you can get into one, it can be life-changing money, or at least huge bonus money without a doubt. Watch out for breakouts. As I mentioned, we are currently very early in the market cycle. We've left the accumulation period for the vast majority of coins, and they're in the earliest stages of the breakouts. That's an interesting time for a lot of investors to start throwing money into the market. You don't have to ride the whole bear cycle out and ride all your coins down 99%. You can sell and rebuy during accumulation or rebuy when the breakouts start, which is happening kind of nowish. Dollar cost average. Now, this is the lazy man's way to get into crypto. But if you just want dollar cost average top coins, your Bitcoin, your Ethereum, your Solana, whatever, easy. Get your weekly buys set up, buy $100, $200, $1,000, whatever your number is per week, and just do that. Take a long term on it, and maybe, of course, dollar cost average out when the market's get a bit too crazy. Easy way to do it. Although that's better to be done during an accumulation phase in the market, to be honest. Still, you can do it now, depending on your time frame. If you still want to be investing in this asset class in 10 years time or something like that, well, just dollar cost average for the next few years, regardless of price action. Don't worry about it. Just keep buying and you'll be okay long term. It's crazy with crypto because the time when most people want to buy, this is the big mistake. The time when most people want to buy is when you should be selling. And the time most people want to sell is when you should be buying. And that's human psychology for you. We have this weird just pain bias, and we have this weird greed button that gets clicked on our heads, and we go crazy, man. We go crazy. Have you guys seen yourselves? I've seen myself at the mania phase and bull. It's not pretty, man. It's like, must make money and everything. It's nuts, okay? But it's a danger time. You don't want to buy high. When the market's in euphoria and you're seeing all the people on your timeline posting Rolexes and cars, and the New York Times and Time Magazine, they're all posting about how crypto's the new paradigm of money and everyone's getting hilariously rich, and your old friends calling you from school, like run away, get out fast. Like it's a burning building. Okay. It's a burning building and everyone inside's high. Okay. They're all high on the fumes of the burning building. They're saying, this is great, man. I love this party. Let's throw some more gasoline on the fire, man. That'll be great. No, you need to get out of the building, man. Get on the fire escape and run. Now, before we get into the exact when to sell, which is part of actually that, because the hardest time to buy is the best time and the easiest time is the worst time psychologically. Those are weird creatures. But I want to mention the Wealth Mastery newsletter. This is going to help keep you sane and, of course, give you some opportunities in the market This is my weekly crypto newsletter. We send it to your inbox 3 times per week. We cover altcoin alpha. We do deep dive altcoin reports, much more beyond that, NFTs and airdrops and the latest news. We spend about 40 hours a week putting this bad boy together between me and my team of writers, so you can read it in like 10 minutes. It's a pretty good deal, right? You know what's even better deal? It's free. You can join our 90,000 weekly readers for free. Use the link down below in the description. Thank you very much. Check it out. It's free. Okay, so when do you sell? When do you sell? Well, obviously, you sell the top. Duh. Everyone, that's the obvious answer. Sell the top, Lark. Yeah. The top is sold by almost no one. Here's a secret for you. Almost nobody sells the top. A lot of people buy the top or buy close to the top, but almost nobody sells the top. Okay. Very few people will perfectly time the bottom and perfectly sell it. There's like one guy, and he's going to tell everybody on Twitter about it for the next 4 years. There's like one guy who perfectly buys the exact bottom price, then perfectly sells the exact top price. Almost nobody does that. Okay. Most of the money's made in the middle. Don't worry about trying to sell the top. Get that idea. Just beat it out of your head. You don't need to perfectly sell the top because you're probably not going to. And if you think that you're going to, you're going to get yourself all screwed up because you're going to be trying to perfectly sell the top and then not do it and then lose a bunch of money. Unnecessary. Okay. Maybe you want to do preset targets. That's interesting, but you have to be realistic. So if you want to have a preset target of, okay, I'm going to sell my Bitcoin when it gets to $250,000. Well, you might be waiting a few years. It might not happen this cycle. Maybe it does. I've thought, well, maybe we do get to 250K this cycle, but I'm not going to wed myself to that number because that's dangerous because it gets to 220 and then it reverses and you didn't sell anything because it didn't get that, extra $30,000 to your target when you could have sold, got life-changing money. And no, you're going to hold it back down for the bear market, wait another 4 or 5 years, and then you'll get to sell for 250K, but then it'll go to 400K and you sold too early. Be flexible for market conditions. Don't get yourself wedded to these price targets. It's useful to have price targets in mind. Try to be realistic. Try to even be conservative with your price targets. But it's useful to have price targets in mind because they help give you a framework for what you're looking at, but don't wed yourself to them and be realistic too. For example, people who think, Shiba Inu is going to go to like a 1 cent per coin or something like that. It's too much. It's too much. You get up to multi-trillion-dollar market cap for a dog coin. It's not going to happen, guys. You got to be realistic, okay? Obviously, as we mentioned, watch out for the euphoria on your timeline. Watch out for new paradigm of money vibes. We're all geniuses vibes. That's actually the most dangerous time in the market. You have to understand market cycles. You have to understand you buy when the market's moving sideways like this. Maybe the breakout of that. When the market looks like the Burj Khalifa, skyscraper in Dubai, the tallest building in the world, when the market looks like that, when it's just gone straight up in a line for weeks on end. Guess what you should not be buying? That chart. Guess what you should probably be selling? That chart. Okay? Understand the cycles. There's accumulation periods, there's markup periods, there's markdown periods. Right now, we're exiting the accumulation period. We're entering the markup period. We're very, very early in the markup period. And we're going to see prices go crazy. And it's not going to go up in a straight line. Maybe at the end it will a little bit, but there'll be a lot of volatility. You'll have 30, 40% drawdowns multiple times during the bull cycle. You'll think it's over and then it'll go up again. But you make sure you sell when the markets get so crazy that it's like this. Okay? The next one you might want to do is watch out for technicals. So for example, when the monthly RSI on Bitcoin or Ethereum gets over 90, sell signal, get out. When the pi cycle for Bitcoin flashes, get out. When on-chain indicators, all kinds of on-chain indicators start indicating an overheated market, maybe it's time to get out. When the MACD crosses into a bear cross on the weekly charts, you might want to run away. Okay, those are technicals. You can mix the technicals in with the sentiment analysis. You'll probably get a pretty good indication of what's going on in your timeline and if it's a good time to sell or not. For maximum gains, you're not going to get 100% of the gains possible, squeeze every penny out of the market, but if you can capture the lion's share of it, you're going to be doing pretty good sitting on a yacht later, okay? You'll feel good about it, trust me. Here's a thought for you too. When that number on your screen becomes so big that selling even a portion of it or all of it would substantially change your life, sell. When you're looking at it and go, that amount of money right there, this would change my life forever. I'd be able to make sure my kids go to the best schools. I'd be able to make sure that, we can have a better house and buy new cars, whatever. Of course, don't just waste all your money. I may be able to ensure that we can invest in real estate so we can have, safe, long-term passive income, stuff like this. I can invest in my business, my wife's business, whatever it might be. If you're looking at life-changing money, change your life. Change your life. Take the leap of faith and change your life. Yeah, it might go up more later, and you don't have to sell everything. You just sell some of it. Sure. We'll get into how to sell in a second, but change your life, man. Because the last thing you want to do is to find yourself in a state where you believe truly it's possible, your life can change, and everything's going to be great, and you're envisioning this new future, and you don't sell, and your bags go down 99%, and everything that you dreamed of is gone. Because it's what happens to most people. Okay. Now, obviously, there's some exceptions here in terms of selling. Maybe you got an NFT that you just like. You don't need to sell it. Look, if you have an NFT you like, you want to hold on to it, regardless what the price is now. You can just do that if you're happy to just hold it, regardless what the price might do. Sure. Bitcoin, wealth preservation asset. Maybe you want to sell your Bitcoin. Maybe you want to hold it for 10, 20 years, regardless of volatility. That's fine. I understand that. Some staking coins. Now, look, it's hard to know which smart contract networks are going to be the big winners in the long term. But let's just take, Solana as an example. You can get your Solana today. It's probably going to be worth more in the future. And you can stake it and you get your 7-8% reward. Now, if the next bear market low is higher than the current price, then you're doing okay. You can stake for a decade, for example, and just live off of those nice staking rewards. If you time it right, I'm not saying do this with Solana, just as an example, but if you do it right, then those staking rewards can create serious passive income. I know a guy, he's got a bunch of Cardano, bought truckloads when it was like 2 cents. He watched it go up to $3, didn't sell. He's just been staking, man. And it went back down. He's just still staking. And it's a passive income for him. He makes so much money from staking his Cardano, like doesn't need to do anything anymore, just chilling. That's potential as well. Now, obviously, if the network fails or Solana or Cardano or whatever network fails to do whatever and slowly trends to zero over time, then your staking coins are worth nothing as well. So maybe you want to take the bigger chunk of cash. There's a good argument for just, hey, you should have actually sold all that Cardano at $3, taken half the money, put it in your pocket, took half the money and rebought Cardano when it was 30 cents. Something to think about. Okay, now how to sell. This is the practical nuts and bolts, right? You can sell all at once. You can just wait and sell everything all at the same time and a couple clicks of the buttons and you're done, completely out of the market. That is hard to do. It's hard to do because big numbers are stressful. If you get this right, then you're going to have millions of dollars you're looking at. More money you've probably ever seen in your life, more money than you may ever see again in your life if you don't click the sell button. But if you click the sell button, you're going to make the money. But it's stressful because when the markets are really pumping and the euphoria is high and the greed's high and you see your portfolio go from worth like, I don't know, $200,000 to $2 million in a month's time, which can happen, then suddenly you're looking at it, well, I'm a genius. I know what I'm doing. It's going to keep going up forever. This is the super cycle. It's never going to go down again, up only, blah, 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 blah. It's going to double tomorrow. If I just hold on one more day, it's going to double into 4 million. Okay, maybe that time you're right. Just out of chance. Hey, you're right. Tomorrow's $4 million and you still don't sell because now you think tomorrow's going to be $8 million. But it isn't. Tomorrow, you're back down to 2. And now you start bargaining with yourself. Yeah, okay, but it's going to go back to 4. It's just a healthy correction. It's going to go back up to $4 million. Let's go up to 8. Go up to 8. But I'm going to sell it 4 because maybe it won't go up to 8. I'll sell it 4. If I can just go back to 4. If I just go back to 4, you get tied to your high watermark net worth on paper, right? And then tomorrow comes, and guess what? You're down another 50%. Now you're down to $1 million. Now you're starting to freak out. Oh, but hey, I can just keep holding on a little bit longer. And before you know it, you've round tripped your whole damn bag and you have nothing. Nothing. Congratulations. Selling all at once is fine, but it's stressful, and a lot of people can't handle the stress. Okay, so if that sounds like it could be you, maybe the next method is going to be a lot better for you, which is laddering out. See, we often ladder into assets to buy like a little bit of Bitcoin every week, a little bit Chainlink every week, whatever. You do that during the accumulation phase of the market, or markets are all messed up. And yeah, okay, great. You get some good entry prices. Like my average entry on Chainlink is like $7. When Chainlink gets over probably $100, I'm going to start taking some profits on. Not all at once. I'll start laddering out. Now, when you ladder out, you're not getting the absolute max profits because you're not selling the perfect peak. But nobody sells the perfect peak. Remember that. You want to make as much money as possible, not the highest theoretical amount possible. You want to maximize the profits you actually put in your pocket, maximize the actual returns. A good way to do that's laddering out. So if you have a coin that's just gone up 20x, 30x, 40x, 50x, whatever it might be, you can take a little bit of money off the table. There's no shame in that. You can get your capital back out. Now you have free bags. Worst that happens, you're not going to lose any money because you've taken your capital back out. But what about this? Okay, my bag's up 20%. I'm going to sell 10%. And you know what I'm going to do next week? I'm going to sell another 10%. And you know what I'm going to do the week after that? I'm going to sell another 10%. And over 2 or 3 months, you completely ladder out of the position. Now, if you do that when euphoria is high, maybe you sell 25% per week. You want to get out a little bit faster, but you're worried. Okay, it might go up more tomorrow, so I'm going to just not sell everything at once. So maybe I capture a little more gains, or maybe it goes down. I get a little less gains. I'm still getting out of the market. I'm still getting money in my pocket. So let's say market's crazy, high euphoria. You take a month to ladder out of your position, selling every 2 or 3 days, for example, or once per week. That situation, you're going to get a lot of money put in your pocket. It's a sane way to do it. It helps you with the stress of dealing with the big numbers. You're not pushing $1 million. You're not having to deal with $1 million. You can just, okay, I'm going to take $200,000. Wow, life-changing money, huge. And you get used to, okay, I just made $200,000 last week in profits. This is amazing. Next week, I'll come back and do it again. So it's a way to psychologically help you deal with getting out of really big numbers as well, okay? So laddering out's a very successful strategy a lot of people use to help them exit the markets if you think that the all-at-once strategy is too stressful for you. Look, focus on guaranteeing profits instead of trying to get every last penny out of an investment, okay? Greed is your enemy. It's not your friend. Remember that. Now, a little bit of real talk here before we finish this up, because I think this is really important, perhaps the most important part of the video, okay? Please, think for yourself. Do not follow anyone blindly. Again, it's a player versus player out here, okay, guys? Your win is probably going to be somebody else's loss at the end of the day. The markets are brutal, okay? Numbers on screens, man. Not your friends, all right? The cryptocurrencies are not your friends. Most of the people out here are not your friends, okay? You have to take care of yourself. Don't blindly follow anyone's calls for anything. There's always going to be this story, of course, about the guy as well who made millions in some random dog coin, but you know, most people lose like 99.99% on those dog coins. So other people's stories are not your stories. Other people's calls are not your calls. Focus on your own game. Know the coins you own. Know the coins you own. This is the next tip. Watch for catalysts, major tech upgrades, big sponsorship announcements, big conferences, all this kind of stuff can be big for moving the price of different assets that you own, okay? So keep that in mind. When those big pumps are created, maybe you want to take some profits on that day. Maybe you want to fully exit the position. Nothing wrong with fully exiting positions. You can always buy back later if you want. But when you're sitting on life-changing money, take it. Take it. Also, one thing with the laddering out method I didn't mention is that you can always just keep moonbag. You know, you never have to sell everything. If you always want to have a foot in a particular altcoin or whatever, let's say you've got $1 million profit sitting there on an altcoin. You can take out $950,000, keep 50K just because you can. And if it goes to zero, sweet. If it goes up, makes another $1 million, sweet. But you still get to be part of the community by holding on to a little bit of the coin if you want to do that. That's an option too. I know I've said this already. Please don't round trip your bags. Please don't round trip your bags. Don't do it to yourself. It's stressful. It sucks. Like, just don't. Honestly, don't. There's no reason to do that. There's no reason to do that. When you get the big, take your damn money and run, man, when the time comes. Come on. Don't get caught up in the FOMO. Don't get caught up in the moon boy shit and the unrealistic price expectations. Like, when the time comes, run. Here's a thought. Think about how you're going to feel when your assets are down 99% in the bear market. How are you going to feel? All your dreams are broken. Everything you thought you were going to do. All those aspirations and hopes and feelings of euphoria. Like, I'm a genius. I made all this money. This is fantastic. It's all going to be gone if you don't sell. It's all going to be gone. Now, look, yeah, okay, you've learned some skills. Next market cycle, you can come back and do it all again and try and run up to millions. And this time, you're not going to make that mistake. Why wait? Why wait 4 years and go through a brutal bear market? Just take your money and run, man. It's simple, but notoriously hard to do because you are going to screw with yourself, okay? Final thought, get money out of crypto. Crypto is a wild market. It's high risk. And yeah, you can always keep some money in crypto. You can always keep a foot in the door. You keep some Bitcoin, keep some Ethereum, whatever it might be. Keep some stable coins around. Have some money you play with whenever in the crypto market. There's always opportunities in the crypto market. But you're probably going to want to get money out, diversify metals, stocks, real estate, all that kind of stuff, invest in businesses, et cetera, et cetera. All the stuff we talk about here all the time on the channel, of course, but it's true. Good luck. I'll see you next time.